Favorite podcast. Whoa. It's MJB Music with JB. Tell somebody, tell them you should be here. You are not tuned in. MJB Music with JB.
You all are having a great evening. You are tuned in to the MJB Music with JB podcast. I am Mario J. Brown, singer, songwriter, and CEO of MJB Music.
And I am JB, the other side of the MJB music cast and crew. And I'm excited to be here. So, yeah, to take our craft to the next level.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're giving you everything that I wish I had when I first started. How about that?
There it is. There it
So
is.
there's, I've had an opportunity to develop relationships with some people that have really perfected their crafts. And so we're just reaching out. We have some attorneys that'll be on here in the next couple of weeks. Fashion design, everything, you name it, everything that makes you a successful artist. So the other thing I love about it is that we don't just talk music, we talk life. And so, in that you'll get some valuable information that you can take along with you and apply to whatever field you're in. So again, you guys feel free to chime in and ask questions. We love when you guys are vocal. Shout out to Farina Books, Loso. You guys are tuning in. I appreciate you all. So today, thank you for joining us. We truly value your time. And today's topic of discussion is longevity as an artist. I'm going to read this bio. Multiple Stellar Award winner and Dove nominee, Maurette Brown-Clark is one of the gospel music industry sweethearts. With 4 chart-topping albums credited to her career, Maurette is yet remaining true and authentic to her sound, grace, and call. The well-known praise and worship anthem, One God, and It Ain't Over, topped the charts. In 2011, she released The Sound of Victory with the lead single, I Hear the Sound of Victory, becoming the number 17 gospel song of the year, charted by Billboard magazine. And how about that? Her more recent singles, King O King and I Want God, are also classics from Clark that are available for download right now. So make sure you pick that up. But before we talk to Miss Maurette Brown-Clark, we want to give you the news flash culture moment of the day. JB, tell us what's going on in the culture.
So I don't know if you missed it on yesterday. They had the versus battle of the legendary Patti LaBelle and what is it? I forgot
Gladys
the other
Knight.
name. Gladys Knight. Thank you. And then they had
Yes.
a special guest appearance by Dionne Warwick. And so I didn't catch none of it, but I seen clips of it. Some people were keeping me posted as to what was going on. Mario, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't have missed it. It was amazing, man. That was a moment in history that we may never see again, man. So I was just sitting there, just first of all, blown away by just how they've kept themselves, man. They look beautiful. And also the music is just timeless and just took you back. Like you can listen to their music and know and remember exactly where you were when you heard it. And, even though I was younger, some of those songs now I listen back and I can really understand the meaning of those songs, so I can really appreciate them more now. But yeah, man, shout out to the Verses and Timbo and Swiss Beats for putting that together because of the light of this whole pandemic, man.
Yeah, I think the verses are really good for everybody during this time. Just like with sports being back, I think the verses in the back and the just the listening to the music is really good. I think what we need in this time, music heals a soul, and so it's huge
Yes,
to
sir.
have these verses and have this music to be able to kind of heal the soul a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful to give flowers while they are yet living, to know
That's
that they're
good.
still appreciated, still valuable, and man, I love the whole vibe of it, man. It was a great show.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
great topic, man. But yeah, we're gonna get into our topic today. Again, longevity as an artist, and who better to talk to than Maurette Brown-Clark? JB, in your opinion, why do you think some artists stick around while others fade?
uh, Primarily because of the hard work that they put into it. But not only that, I think that they really have honed their craft and put in the work to do to give timeless music. There's nothing to be said. Like, I mean, when we talk about Patti LaBelle and Dionne Warwick and Gladys Knight, some of the songs. My wife is an old head, and so she's a when I say old head, she listens to a lot of old music, and so when she can, like, I was playing it a little bit of it, and she was able to just from a distance hear the song and be able to connect to it. And so I guess what I'm saying is that connection that you have with songs to be able to be a timeless artist is key to being a artist that works throughout decades.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I can't wait to talk to someone who has had longevity as an artist.
Absolutely.
Some people see her now and have no idea, the time and the, energy that she's put into this for many, many years. So we want to talk about it. So without further ado, let's welcome my big sister, Maurette Brown-Clark, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome,
Hi,
welcome, welcome.
yo. Look, I'm in here
Hey,
trying to
hey,
find a
hey.
good place to be. I
When you
cannot
get
get a,
situated.
but
Yeah.
listen, it's like I've got my daytime, like where I can go and do all of this, and then I guess I haven't figured out the nighttime one yet. So I'm working on it. Oh,
Gotcha, gotcha,
Jesus,
gotcha.
this is a
Yeah.
mess. Anyway,
Uh, it's so good to have you on the show, and I can't wait to hear your heart tonight. And we're gonna jump right into it. Before we do, I just want to shout out a couple more people. We like to make our listeners and viewers feel special. And John Causey, we see you. David Farrell Williamson, Sugar Harrell, Shaq Willis, Cheney Joplin, Lawrence Seaberry, Tanisha Kelly, and many more. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, you guys are in for such a treat. So we're gonna jump right into it. Miss Maurette, you ready?
yeah, I think this is about the best it's gonna get.
Okay.
Y'all can see my $5 Pac-Man shirt I got from this my new thing to do.
It's nice though. I like it. I
Represent
like
the
Hey.
it.
old school.
Yeah.
Make just makes you feel good.
Right, right.
Okay, there
So
we go.
yeah, let's jump into it. I
Okay.
want you to kind of take us on the journey down your career path to becoming a successful, world-renowned gospel artist. First of all, tell us where you're from, where did your passion come from, and how did you get your start?
So first, you're too kind, but thank you so much for that. Let me say that it's an honor to be here with you. And is it BJ or JB?
JB.
JB.
Yeah, okay, I got that. So it's an honor to be here with you. Be one of the first few guests on your podcast. So I'm gonna put
Yes.
this on the old resume, as they say. Um, but just thank you so much for having me. Originally from Long Island, New York,
Mm.
and moved to Maryland for college and got stuck here in Maryland. So I am Lord Jesus, and this is kind of where I got the solo career. So when I was home, raised in New York, grew up in the church, sang in the church, was dragged to church. My father taught me how to sing. I took piano lessons, and then sang all over, sang in school, sang, that was just what we did, played the piano and did, and came down here to college. And, I just was like, everybody sings, everybody, that's just what you do. But
Yeah.
when I got to college, away from what was familiar, of course, when I would open my mouth to sing, I joined the gospel choir at the school. I'd open my mouth to sing, and people would kind of look like, "What?" And I'd like looking back at them like, "Yeah, we singing. It's all good." But it was something to be amongst people who didn't know me from anybody, and then to
Yeah.
have them to be complimentary about my voice and to kind of be encouraging about that. So that's kind of when I knew there was something more to it, because you can always sing at your home church, you can always sing at the
Yeah.
family reunion, you can always sing around your family members, your friends, they'll gas you up. But it's when you're around
Hmm.
people that don't know you and they have no skin in the game, that's when you really know that you're working with something. And it just kind of started from there. Graduated from college, got a job, had a car, boyfriend, place to stay, had a good church home, and it was still something in me that was picking at my spirit. I'd done everything that the world said to do, get all of that stuff, but it was something that was picking me, and it was this call that was on my life. So, I know we're probably going to talk about it later, but I don't know what to tell people who don't have a call on their life to do what it is that God has birthed them to do. So it just so happened that the call for me lined up with the will of God for my life, and I took off running. And that's basically brought me to from then to present day and hopefully beyond.
Wow. Wow. So I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know you played like that.
Well,
So
you,
you
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 know,
play an
it's
instrument?
I play the piano, but it's gotten like worse through the years. So I used to be really good. And then
Okay.
you start getting busy. I start having kids and raising kids and
Yeah.
stop practicing. And I was just like, I can't. So now I can
Understood.
play I used to play good enough to play my songs so my musicians would be able to like get them. And now I can't
Yeah.
even do that. I was like, listen, I'm gonna play this in the key of C, but I want it in A flat. So transpose it and put some bells and whistles on it
Right.
because I don't have
Right.
time to figure out the black keys. I can't. I have no time.
For
Wow.
sure, for sure. So I know many of us have, had come from a long line of singers and musicians. Do you have that in your bloodline as well?
Um, just as far as I know, my dad, like I said, he taught us to sing. His father, I believe, sung. I have, my dad's
Mm.
side, a lot of singers. His sister, my great aunt, my aunt who's actually still alive, and singing. She's 90 now, and so,
Wow.
they're
Wow.
all musical. They were, and then my mother wanted to be musical. She wanted musical kids. In fact, she'll tell the story that she married my dad. The prerequisite was you have to teach our kids how to sing, and so he
Uh,
taught was four of us. He taught all of us how to sing, and she made sure that we were exposed to instrumentation. So I took piano lessons, studied theory for like 9 years and beyond. My
wow.
sister played piano. My older brother, plays the drums, and then my twin brother, he gave up the ghost and just stuck to the tambourine. So, but we're all very musical.
Wow. That's amazing. That's awesome. Did you guys ever sing together as a group
Oh
or?
God, yeah, yeah, yeah. All over New York. I'm telling you, we were dragged to church. We had to sing when nobody else was singing, go when nobody else was going. And those four
Hmm.
o'clock services that didn't start till 6 and didn't get out till 9. Like New York is infamous for starting late and staying long. And so that is what I grew up with. And you still got to get your homework done. You still got to keep your grades up. You still have to do it. But then it's torture. When you're a little kid, it's torture. You can't go to the
Hmm.
skating rink
Hmm.
because you have to rehearse. You're getting dragged in the living room. Sing it again. You can't go to the dance because we have to go to Friday night church. And you're so begrudging it. You're like, but all
Yep.
of that was working for my good. I never envisioned, you're a little kid and you're like, I envision myself singing. That wasn't me. My twin brother
Mm.
was the singer. And all of my friends in
Wow.
New York knew me as playing the piano for him. So when I started kind
Mm.
of working on music down here in Maryland, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Maurette is making a record," and all my friends in New York were like, "No, she's not. Maurice is making a record, but not Maurette." They were like, "No, they tell me Maurette's making records," and so it's disbelief from people who knew me because I was running away from singing,
Yeah.
although I knew that it was the call of God on my life.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Wow.
So I know you sing gospel music and you came up in the church. Who are some of your influences and like who are some of the people that you've kind of, studied or patterned yourself after
Okay,
just
so
coming up?
yeah, so it's real easy. CC Winans, Donnie
Mm.
McClurkin, Richard Smallwood, of course, and so I ended up singing with him, which is nothing short of a miracle. I grew up listening to Donnie McClurkin. I met him when I was 12, and he wasn't Donnie McClurkin to the world yet. It was him, and he had his singers singing with him, his sisters singing with him, and they
Mm.
would come to my church in New York because he's from Long Island too. And I remember seeing him and listening to him, of course. But also, what that opened up to me was he wasn't singing songs that anybody knew. He was singing the songs that God had given him, that he'd written, and it
Mm,
still was like wiping out the church. So you knew even then that Donnie was destined for greatness. Even as, like I said, like a kid, you could feel the hand of God that was on his life.
yeah.
And so people where that you could literally look at them, and when they open their mouths, you can feel the hand of just the voice of God, like it's singing. Those were the people's ministries that I was attracted to. Yeah, I like a good bump, and I like church all day. You could sing a bad church song and I'm with you, but it's something
Right.
about when that anointing, as soon as a
Yeah.
person opens their mouth, you got my attention.
Yeah.
Hmm. Now, how about on the secular side of things? Were there any
Oh gosh,
secular
yeah.
artists?
Whitney Houston. Like, come on. Whitney Houston.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Whitney, and the people that the ladies, I'm sorry, that were on the verses yesterday, Gladys Knight and
yeah.
Patti LaBelle. Gladys Knight, that soulful alto
Mm,
ness of her, of course, was a draw for me. I could never sing like
yeah.
Patti, but just those types of things, all kind of music. Now that's the one thing. My parents were strict about us going to church, but they were not strict about some of the other things. So we could listen to all kinds of music. So we listened to the
Awesome.
Motowns, and I listened to 70s music like Chicago and stuff like that. And we were able to, wear pants.
Praise
So,
God.
can I get a witness?
Everybody can't say
So,
that.
yeah,
Right?
right.
Everybody can't say that. No, they can't.
So it's like Jesus was there, but it wasn't just like a strangulation Jesus, I want to say. And I hope that
Mm,
doesn't offend anybody.
right. No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so I want to kind of get into just wanted to lay some groundwork, and also I want to find out what's been like the defining kind of breakout moment in your career. What's been the highlight for you so far?
Oh gosh. A couple of highlights.
Okay.
Um, so let's see. Gosh, so I've recorded with a lot of people. Um, I've recorded with, and all the artists I record with, I count it an honor and a privilege. So I've recorded with, and this is going back to the early '90s, mid '90s. I want to say John P. Key I did some work with. Um, Timothy Wright recorded with the Wilmington Chester Mass Choir. Daniel Winans was actually the first person to take a chance on me on a record. Um, and then, of course, everybody knows me for singing with Richard Smallwood. And that came about because of just me going around the DMV and singing and sitting down at the piano when I could play and,
Mm,
and playing and singing. And then there was a group that I sang with called the Keith Lee Singers, and some of them are some of my best friends even now. And we were kind of like the early version of what you would consider like an Anthony Brown group therapy. Really high
okay.
notes, really intricate harmonies, which it was five of us, and so we were kind of in that vein. And it was just nice to um, learn those types of things. And so that was kind of like the catalyst. Once I was in Maryland and was able to kind of experiment vocally. Even when I was in New York, I sang soprano. When I came down to Maryland, I declared myself an alto. So even in that in that regard of just kind of shifting, musically, I'm trying to find, oh, there we go. Shifting musically, just in, parts, whatever. I just thought the alto part was a little more interesting. But singing with Richard Smallwood, singing on Angels. Angels being one of the top songs on that live in Atlanta
Wow.
album on Adoration. Could not have, guessed that would happen. But in singing that song and it doing so well, people who had known me for years decided to give me a chance with a record deal. So signing my first record deal, of course, was a big part of things. But it took singing with Richard Smallwood
Yeah.
and people seeing that, oh, we can actually, there's something to this money wise, not just we like Maurette, she's a great singer, we appreciate her anointing, but it was also she can make us some money. So that's a good, we'll get to that later too. Um,
Yeah.
about that whole thing. But singing with Richard, getting my own record deal, having my own record come out on a major label, was a big deal. Winning a Stella Award, which was something that I had only giggled about, like,
Hmm.
this is not going to happen to me. This happens to other people, but then it happened to me. And then I guess being able to just continue to do what I knew in my heart God had created me to do. So when you talk about longevity, for me, it wasn't just, okay, I'm going to sing and, I want to be famous. I want to do this. It literally was, okay, you've called me to sing. So now I'm going to do it. But I didn't want to just sing to the people that already had heard me sing. My mother, my father, my sister, my brother, they all knew that already. But for me, I was like, how can I reach a lot of people in one full swoop? And that was entering into the recording industry, because you can be a singer and sing and bless people, but not be in the recording industry, and that's a whole nother
Hmm.
beast.
Hmm.
And so, but I knew that that was the path that I wanted to take, and God blessed it. He breathed life into it, and that's why I'm still here doing it today. I've seen people come, go, come back
Yeah.
again, leave again. I've seen people start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, but I've never given up what this is, because it's a calling on my life, as opposed to just something I want to do because somebody encouraged me that I sounded good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really good, really good. And you kind of led into where I was going to go to, in
Good.
terms of why people, some people fade and some people stay. Talking about longevity. What's been, or what have you found to be the most challenging part of your career? I know that you make it look easy. You make it look like
It's
this is
not.
just it's simple. But I
It's so terrible. It's terrible. Run for your lives. JB, turn my mic up, JB.
Yeah, run for your lives.
You know?
I heard you
so,
loud and clear.
Oh my, get a government job, get benefits. Like, oh my God, get a 401k, get some stocks.
preach,
Like, don't do this. Don't do
Wow. Wow. That's funny.
oh,
That's funny.
man. If it wasn't for the call,
Right?
honest to goodness. Honest to goodness.
Lord.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But what was your question? I'm sorry, I spazzed.
No problem. Like I said, you make it look so easy, but I know that you've had your challenging moments. You've had
Yeah.
your times where you wanted to turn around and quit and not, keep going, continue to. But
Yeah.
what have you found to be the most challenging part of your career?
I'm still having those challenges. I'm still um having those issues. The most challenging part of my career has been the industry, because at the heart of who you are as a
Hmm.
creative person, you just want to create your music. You just want to create something that will last, and something that will impact somebody else's heart, soul, mind, spirit, lift up somebody's day. And then the part of that that's not the part that cares about the love, the spirit, the music, the integrity, all that stuff, is the industry. Now you will find, and I've been blessed to find wonderful people in the industry. And that's another point, building these relationships. The fact that me and you are on this line
Hmm.
today is because we
Hmm.
built a relationship, and it goes way past music. It goes to, I
Absolutely.
care about you. I care about your family. I care about your future. I care about you as a person. And I also care about your music. So when you can come
Mhm.
across people like that in the music industry, now that I met JB, I care about him too. Like, he's stuck with me.
Oh.
But yeah, but once you can kind of develop those things, it will lead to your longevity. I'm getting calls now from churches that
Hmm.
I've sung at from years ago, that are saying, can you make us some visual content for our church? I'm getting calls about opportunities from people that I've known for 20 years, different doors that are opening. But it's because I've had these relationships. We don't talk every day, we don't email every
Hmm.
day, but I've been
Hmm.
integral in my relationships, and those things are remembered. Those things, how you come to a gig, how you act at a gig, how you blow people off or treat people, those things come into play when a door opens and they're sitting at the table going, well, who can we get to sing, or who can we get to play, who can we get, who can you get to move? move their family from a city to this city and offer them a salary to do this music, or who can we offer a record deal with? You're literally at the call of somebody sitting at their table going, nah, I saw them one time in LA and they didn't
Hmm.
speak to me, so no, I don't think we should sign them. So it's how you're integral about your business dealings. And of course you can't control everything, because some people are just going to be swole no matter what, but
Right.
it's how you operate, how you navigate through the industry that helps your longevity. So just like a Gladys Knight, just like a Patti LaBelle, those people have longevity because of the way they've interacted and kind of walked through the industry.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's very good. Very good. Valuable. Are there any lessons you've learned along the way that you wish you would have known sooner?
To follow your first mind.
Mm,
Yeah.
as
If
it
your
relates
gut,
to
yeah, as it relates to everything. If your gut says don't take this gig, and they're paying you $1 million, but your gut is like, don't do it,
hmm,
don't do it. I'm telling you, if your gut says don't do business with somebody because of, it might not be the right thing, don't do it.
mhm,
Your gut, your first mind is your right mind. When I met you,
mm,
my first mind was my right mind. I love you, and that has not faded. My first mind was my right mind with, the singers that I have, my musicians, my camp, my producers. That was like the people that I work with, you know what I mean? That's my
yeah,
right mind. And that's that gut. Trust your gut, because it is literally, for those of us who are, Christian in the gospel, that is literally God speaking to you. Now, if you're
That's the
not
Holy
saved,
Ghost. Come
who,
on now.
yes, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit is talking to you. If you're
Yeah.
not saved, then you're going to call it your gut, your instinct. But follow that, because that literally is the thing. Your first mind is the one that I should always follow. There's things that I kind of got into that I was like, I knew it, I should have.
hmm,
And then there's other things that I can look back to and know that I followed my first mind, and I still have connections to those people, to those opportunities, to those things today, because I followed my first mind.
wow.
That's really
That's
good.
so good. Very, very good. I'm glad you even talked about, touched on relationships. I think every guest that we've had on here has some kind of way talked about relationships and
Yeah.
the value and importance of relationships. So it's key. And I'm hoping that our listeners and viewers will, really, really get that deep down,
Yeah.
because, the relationships are the things that carry you beyond the dollar.
Yep.
So, I appreciate the relationship that we have. You've been able to walk me in some places that, because of your relationships, I had no
Right.
problem getting through that door. And
Right.
so, I'm forever grateful, for the platform that you afforded to me, and just having you as a a mentor, and still being there for me. I really appreciate everything that you've
Yeah.
done and
Yeah.
continue to do. Absolutely, absolutely. So, music can be temperamental, as we know.
Mhm.
It can be in today and out tomorrow. How have you managed to release songs that don't fade?
It's it's the lyrics, actually. So it's the words. Um, a great song is a lot of things, and a lot of things have to meet up in order for a song to be great. So you have to start with great lyrics, you have to start with a great melody, you have to start with great production, you have to start with mixing. The mixing has to be right. Even the mastering could change even how a record sounds. The right
Mhm.
vocals, the right musicians, the right touch, a keyboard touch, the right bass player that's not, the right musicians that aren't just trying to like get their man or something, but they're sensitive to what it is that you do. So like for me, um, I'm a real kind of cool, jazzy singer, like by trade. And so you coming into the studio plucking everything is not going to work for me. So now put my
Right.
voice with a all the time, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, that song don't match. So everything really has to line up. And I have been the benefactor of more times than less of those things lining up. So a song like an It Ain't Over Until God Says It's Over, which Anthony Brown
Yes.
wrote for me, but he let me hear it in a car ride to a Wilmington Chester Mass choir rehearsal a cappella. I I was driving, he was in the passenger side, and he was maybe 20, 21 at the time. And he said,
Wow.
I think I have one more song for your record. And I was like, okay, let me hear it. And he started singing it. I know the odds look stacked against you, and it seems that there's no way out. I know that the issue seems
Mhm.
unchangeable, and that there's no reason to shout, but the impossible. He got right there, and I was like, stop. I'm recording it. Like,
Oh my God.
you can't pay for stuff like that. And so what happened was Asaph Ward gets a hold of it. He has the right musicians, Eddie Brown, keyboard player, like bananas. Asaph produces the heck out of it, that whole album. Um, the right musicians. It's like all of those things have to line up. And that's basically how I've been able to make it. And then you got to get the right people to work the record. So I've been
Yeah.
fortunate that, I've been on major labels. All of my records have been on major labels, and I haven't had to literally like push it or do it myself. So I've been blessed in so many ways that are really too numerous to count.
Yeah.
But it definitely is, you got to start with the lyrics. If your song is not saying anything or it doesn't make sense, it's not going to stick. Richard Smallwood, his songs are in hymn books because of the lyrics. Lord, I will lift my eyes to the hills. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? He's
Right.
pulling from the scripture. Thank you for the many times I've fallen, yet you forgave me. Thank you. Oh shucks. Like what?
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the thing. People will forget grooves
Mhm.
Hmm.
because it's how you feel. I'll forget how I'll forget that. I'll forget the groove, but I won't forget when I'm looking for something to encourage me, I'm pulling up those lyrics, those songs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm out of pocket or not, but you never know what people are dealing with.
Right.
And just to be completely transparent, it's been a rough day, rough couple weeks,
Oh,
rough season. And I just
yeah,
want,
yeah.
if you don't, can you just sing a verse and a hook of the you went into it. I wasn't gonna ask you to sing because I know how that can be sometimes, but I felt something that was just refreshing, even just with the chorus of "It Ain't Over." So if you don't mind, can we just have a verse and a short chorus? That's all
Yeah,
I ask.
I'll do the I'll do the second verse. He never
Okay.
said it would be easy, Mario, but you're a winner in the end. 'Cause Jesus defeated all your enemies way before this fight began. But the
Yes.
impossible is still God's chance. He wants to work a miracle, and he's able to work a miracle. So just know it ain't
Mm-hmm.
over
Mhm. Mhm.
until God says it's over. I'm glad it ain't over until God says it's done. No, it ain't over
Yeah.
until God says it's over. Y'all keep fighting until the victory is won.
Come on here
Yes,
now.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Amen.
good. That's
Praise
good.
God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
You're
appreciated that. I
welcome.
needed it. And I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody else that's listening needed it as well. Oh man. Yes, yes, yes. Let's
Yeah.
see. Where are
Yeah.
we?
But let me preach that. It's not over. I'm telling you, our eyes are seeing things that we never thought we'd see. Like in this, COVID is touching everybody in a way,
Mhm.
whether you've had the illness and recovered from it, i.e.,
Yeah. Yeah.
or whether you've just been impacted by job loss or money loss, or just the inability to be able to kind of move like you want to move. I was running in just now, and the highlight of my husband's day is to get off work and then let's drive to Costco. I'm like, man, we like old married people or something. Like we used to go out to dinner and go like
Wow.
go to church service or go to just meet up with friends and stuff. I was like, man, Costco, this is it, huh? This how we going out. So but we have to seriously like hold on. The joy that I'm taking away from this is just the time that I'm getting to spend with my
Yeah.
family and friends and connect with people, have time to actually have a phone conversation with people, not just a text message, and to have these moments where I can look at you and know that you're safe and you're sound, and meet new people still, even in this pandemic. So I just think that there's of course there's things that we wished our eyes wouldn't have seen. So many people have lost loved ones, and I'm just praying for everybody. Even if you're watching now, if you lost a loved one or know somebody who's lost a loved one, you're just dealing with just the compounded pressure. But God is still in control. He is still Alpha and Omega. He is still the beginning and the end. And although this middle is looking kind of crazy, he has still got all power in his hands. And that's the thing that we have to hold on to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So tell me, success means something different to everybody. So how does Maurette define success? Like, what does that look like for you? Is it in terms of sales, impact, personal fulfillment? What does success mean to you? How do you
Success
measure it?
means to me really the reason why you have me on today is the longevity. I prayed a really simple prayer, two simple prayers when I started this. And the first prayer was to ask God to take my music further than I could physically take it. And I've watched him do that with everything that I've released. He's allowed, there's not one project that I've done that hasn't been released to the world. So that's one thing. A lot of artists can't say that. I know artists that have music in the can now that they
Hmm.
recorded that isn't released. So that's one. And then the second thing was for him to move me out of the way so that he could get the glory and to have longevity. So the thing is that the very simple prayers that I prayed 25 years ago, probably longer than that now, if I do the math right, are the things that have come to fruition. So fulfillment to me is that he's allowed my simple prayer. He heard my simple prayer and it came to fruition and it's still coming to fruition. And he's allowed me to have the other things that I didn't ask for. He allowed me to have a marriage that has been successful, ups, downs, everything in the middle, but we're
Yeah.
together. He's allowed me to have three healthy kids. That I haven't run to the school with behavior issues and beat up the teacher or the principal or anything like that. I haven't been to the hospital for long stays with any of them. They're healthy, they're whole, they're healed, they are they're hitting their marks. I like to say college graduates and matriculating in college, and I've got a 10th grader that's I don't have to hang over her and say get your homework done, like haven't you finished yet. They know what to do. They follow the example. So when I look at the things that I asked for that he's done and the things that I didn't ask for that he's done,
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
um, yeah, just the relationships, the even the people that I'm mentioning now. There's not one of those people, unless they've gone on to be with the Lord, that I cannot pick up the phone and call if I needed something. The people that I've been allowed to meet in different cities, the churches, even just lay members, people in churches that I've
Yeah.
connected to, that there's not a need that I have that God has not met ever in my entire life. I don't know what it's like to walk up to a light switch and the light doesn't come on. I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I don't know what it's like to not have food in my home. And not saying that that's down the road, but as it stands today, I've
Hmm.
never seen any of the stuff that unfortunately some people have had to deal with. And that's what keeps me running. That's what keeps me humble. That's what keeps me fighting. That's what makes me get up and say, God, you've done more. You've done exceedingly and
Yeah.
abundantly more than I could have even asked or even thought to think. And you've done that for me in spite of me. So
Hmm.
that is what keeps me going. That's what it looks like in my rearview mirror. That's what it looks like in
Hmm.
my present in these COVID conditions where, yeah, loss of income, loss of job, loss of, seeing what's ahead. But knowing what he's done in the past and knowing what he's doing right now, keeping me, I only have an anticipation for what he's going to do in the future. Now, I might look a little different. I might not be on an airplane every week. I might not be, singing at the church all the time or whatever. But whatever it is, I've seen him do it. And I'm going to continue to watch him and work with him as he works with me to continue in this vein. I probably felt like you. I think COVID made me feel like, all right, I'm done. This is good. I'm tired. I'm gonna kind of just, this is my opportunity to retire. Really, I thought that in my head, and then I was like, no. Seemed like the more that I'm talking about not singing, it's like the better my voice is getting. So I'm like, oh shoot. You got to keep going. There's still something in me. The more I'm talking about don't go sing, the more he's putting more word in me, more testimony in me that's got to come out to bless somebody else. So I'm just going to hang in there. I encourage you to hang in there. I encourage JB, hang in there. Everybody who's under the sound of our voice, hang in there. And if you haven't figured out what it is yet that you're supposed to do, God birthed you to do, I pray tonight that you ask him, just in plain language, like I asked him. I just asked him, what is it I'm supposed to do? And he answered me clear as day. You're supposed to tell people about me. Since you gave your life to me, tell people about me through music. And that's my only reason why I do what I do. If he'd have said do it through cooking, if he'd have said do it through mowing somebody's lawn, if he'd have said do it through decorating, if he'd have said do it through the preach word, which, I don't know, maybe that's coming too, but however if he'd have told me to do it through tap dancing, that's what I would have done. I wouldn't have questioned it. So this is the way he told me, the way he created me to do it. And this is why I do it. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's all good, and that is success, and it's just a reminder, of what really matters. Sometimes we can get so busy chasing after, these goals and trophies and charts and all of that kind of stuff that we miss moments that really matter. And so, thank you for just kind of bringing us back to what this is all about. Because it's easy to get distracted, or to be discouraged when you don't feel as if you're reaching the level where you feel like you should be reaching. So, like you said, making a difference, having an impact, that's success. Having a successful marriage that's success. Being able to get up in the morning and the lights come on, that's success. And so, again, just encouraging everybody to look at the things that are going well for you, because God he's still there. He's here, and don't miss those moments, chasing after things that, may be still up the road, but it's coming. It's coming.
And it's not always going to look, it's not always going to look like it looks for somebody else. Your success can't be measured by what somebody else has. Tyler Perry became a billionaire last week, right? So maybe we will never become billionaires, but we can have, billionaire faith, billionaire grace, billionaire love, like we have to look at it differently. I'm not to the level of I'm telling you this, and then I'll like be done with my emotionalism. My daughter told me one day, I was going out to sing, and I took her with me, the middle child, and she said to me out the blue, she said, "Don't take this the wrong way." And I was like, okay, she was like 13 at the time. I was like, what are you getting ready to say to me? She said, "You may not be as famous as like Kirk Franklin or Mary." She named like maybe one other artist. She said, "But to the people who know you, you matter."
Right.
And I was like, boom, drops mic, walks away. Wow. There's doors I may never walk through. There's people I may never sing for. I still got people to this day messing up my name. I never heard of you. I don't know you. I know your music, but I don't know you or something. It doesn't matter. As long as whoever my voice was assigned to hears a song or hears what I'm supposed to do that God put in me to do, then that's my billionaire blessing right there.
Wow.
Ooh-wee. That's rich. That is so rich. Whew. Say la. Say la. Say la.
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah. I mean it. Yeah. I mean it. Lord have mercy.
That's good. So good. So good. Whew. All right. So, there was some other questions that I was going to ask that you already touched on, like encouraging people, and how would you, like, you've already given so many nuggets and tools, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this question. Have you always known that you'd be a singer, or have you ever desired to do or be anything other than a singer, or is that all? Did you know from a long time ago? This is it for me. There is no plan B.
Yeah, so I never wanted to be a singer. This is what I pictured until I just thought singing was a cool thing to do, and I was pretty good at it, and I liked to do it. I liked doing it in church, and around the house, and but once I got the call, of course, I went running with it. But I thought that I was just going to work a job and go sing on the weekends, and like that would be it. I just if I I literally thought that was it. And it was it for a time. I was working a day job, singing with Richard, recording my own record, and having kids. And I was still working my day job.
Hmm.
Still. So until my second album came out, when I literally was going bonkers. Because I was driving 60 miles to work. Not back
Wow.
and forth. 60 miles to work and 60 miles home. Plus traveling on the weekends. Plus had a 3-year-old and a newborn baby.
That's a lot.
And I was,
Wow.
winning Stellar Awards, but then I'm back at my desk on Tuesday morning from Atlanta at the time, back at my desk pushing buttons and typing and stuff. So
Wow.
I never was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to quit my job. It never was that. It was, I'm going to have my job, I'm going to sing, I'm a this, I'm whatever, until I can't do something. That's when I'm not going to do it. So even in that regard, I always knew I was going to be working, but God honored that. He honored my effort. He honored my hard
Mhm.
work. And then he allowed my husband to be great, have a great job, to have benefits, and to have those things that I didn't necessarily have to worry about
Yeah.
in that regard, and
Yeah.
that has been the case this whole time. So I've been I've been very blessed.
Yes. 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 You have. Yes, you have.
Yeah.
What an amazing story. Learning so many things. It's amazing. We've been knowing each other for a little while, and I
Yeah.
promise you, there's so much that I did not know that I'm learning tonight. So
Yeah.
I
You didn't
appreciate
know
just
my
even this
glasses
time of
were like
sharing.
crazy thick, right? Been wearing them
No.
since the third grade. Like what?
Hey, it helps you to see. That's all that matters.
Amen.
So tell us something that we may not know about you. What do you like to do in your free time? What would surprise us that we just
God,
wouldn't know?
what was surprise? I have a slight addiction to bubble gum.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
and not like the cheesy kind, like actual like bubble gum balls.
Oh.
Like what
Okay.
is it? Yeah. It's got to be like a quarter. I can't hardly walk past the machines. Now I do because of Corona, but stick the quarter in and
Right.
turn it and yeah, that's kind of my thing.
The
So pray
big
for
bubble
me. Yeah, but it's too much sugar now. Now I'm trying to lose my COVID pounds, and a
gum.
gumball has 30 calories. Okay, one
Jesus.
gumball, 30 calories, ain't worth it.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, you welcome. And so,
Right.
but this,
It's done.
and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I mean it, because I was gonna go back and drag out one of your old songs. So if you
Mm,
want something new, I can
I
drag
got
out an
something.
old one and just repurpose it. I can do that. But
World.
listen,
It's
no, I'm
on. It's
not
on
playing.
record. No,
You
just
know I'm
playing.
not playing with you.
I
That's the
know.
truth
No,
right
she's
there.
for
I
real.
love.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you can follow me on social media everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's Maurette B Clark on Instagram and Twitter. Maurette Brown-Clark. I got the blue check verification on
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm all big time with it. And my website's MauretteBrown-Clark.com. Look for the fro in a city near you. And I'm